You know what your problem is, Ethan? You trust too much. My name is Ethan Carver. I am 29 years old, and I design indie games for a living in Indianapolis. Kylie just said that to me over coffee at our usual spot on Massachusetts Avenue. Her tone was different, sharper, like she was testing something. We had been together for 2 years, good years, the kind where you start thinking about rings and shared leases. I built her a custom gaming PC last Christmas. She helped me debug code when I was pulling all-nighters. We fit, but lately something felt off. Her friends had been around more, a lot more. Whispering conversations that stopped when I walked into the room, phone calls where she would step outside, text messages that made her smile in ways I had not seen directed at me in weeks. Trust too much? I asked. What does that mean? She stirred her latte and would not look at me. Nothing. Just, sometimes people take advantage of nice guys. The coffee shop hummed around us. Students from Butler University hunched over laptops. Business people grabbed their morning fuel. Normal Tuesday morning in Indianapolis. But nothing about this conversation felt normal. Kylie had always been direct, honest. She told me when my game ideas were garbage. She called out my bad habits without sugarcoating them. This dancing around words was new. Are we okay? I asked. She finally looked up. Something flickered behind her eyes, like she was reading from a script. We are fine. I just think you should be more careful about who you trust. I nodded and went back to my eggs, but my stomach had turned cold. Trust was not something you brought up randomly, not unless trust was already broken. When she excused herself to the bathroom, her phone buzzed on the table. The screen lit up with a text from her friend Jessica. Remember what we talked about tonight. I did not read further, did not need to. But something twisted in my chest, a quiet awareness that the ground under my feet was shifting. Kylie came back and kissed my cheek. Everything felt normal again, too normal. Like she was performing being my girlfriend instead of just being her. We finished breakfast. She said she loved me. I said it back. We made plans for dinner Thursday night. But walking to my car, I could not shake the feeling that I was being measured for something. Evaluated. Like I was a character in one of my own games and someone else was holding the controller. I met Kylie at a gaming convention downtown 2 years earlier. She was not there for the games. She was working a booth for Kristen Global, some tech startup that was sponsoring the event. I wandered over because she looked bored out of her mind. Do you actually know what any of this stuff does? I asked, pointing at the display of servers and networking equipment. Not a clue, she said, but I can tell you it costs more than my car. We talked for an hour. She was smart, funny, did not pretend to care about things she did not understand. When I told her I designed games, she did not ask if I knew the guy who made Fortnite. She asked what kind of stories I liked to tell. That night we grabbed dinner at a little place on Fountain Square. She ordered the spiciest thing on the menu just to see if she could handle it. Spent the next 10 minutes crying and laughing and drinking every glass of water in sight. I knew I was in trouble. The first year was everything you want when you are 27 and tired of dating apps. She moved into my apartment on the Near East Side. We cooked together. Watched terrible movies. She listened to me complain about publishers who did not understand my vision. I listened to her talk about her job and her family back in Ohio. Her friends were always part of the package. Jessica, Lauren, and Vanessa. They called themselves the Squad unironically, and had group chats that never stopped buzzing. They were loyal to each other in the way that small groups of women could be. Protective. Sometimes overly so. I liked them well enough. Jessica worked in marketing and had opinions about everything. Lauren taught elementary school and baked cookies for every occasion. Vanessa bounced between jobs but always had the latest gossip. They included me in their plans. Made me feel welcome. But recently that had changed. The conversations got quieter when I was around. They stopped asking about my work, started asking Kylie weird questions about our relationship. Questions that felt loaded. Does he ever get jealous? Jessica asked one night when they thought I was in the bathroom. Have you ever tested him? Lauren wanted to know. Tested him. Like I was a piece of software that needed debugging. Like love was something you could break and fix with the right inputs. I started paying attention. Noticed how they looked at me when they thought I was not watching. Noticed how their conversations shifted when I walked into the room. Something was being planned. I just did not know what. Thursday night never came. Wednesday afternoon, Kylie called me at work. "We need to talk," she said. Her voice was flat, professional, the voice she used with difficult clients at Kristen Global. "Okay, want me to pick up dinner? We can talk at home." "No. Meet me at Military Park. By the fountain." Military Park. Public. Neutral ground. The kind of place you go when you want witnesses, or when you do not trust yourself behind closed doors. I saved my coat and drove downtown. The autumn air was crisp. Leaves scattered across the walking paths. Couples pushed strollers. Kids played on the playground equipment. Normal evening in Indianapolis. Normal everything. Kylie was already there when I arrived. Sitting on a bench staring at the fountain. She looked different. Rehearsed. "Hey," I said, sitting beside her. She did not look at me. "This is not working, Ethan." The words hit like cold water. What is not working? Us. This relationship. I think we should break up. I stared at her, searched her face for something real, some crack in the performance, but she had committed to the role. "Where is this coming from?" I asked. "I have been thinking about it for weeks. We want different things. We are going in different directions." Standard breakup language. Generic, safe, nothing specific enough to argue with or disprove. Different how? She finally looked at me. For just a second I saw something flicker. Uncertainty, like she was remembering lines from a script, but had forgotten why she was performing them. "I just think we should be with people who challenge us more," she said. Challenge us more. That was Jessica's phrase. Jessica, who read self-help books about relationships and treated dating like a competitive sport. "Okay," I said. She blinked. "Okay. If that is what you want, then okay." I could see her confusion. This was not going according to plan. She had expected me to fight, to beg, to prove something. Instead, I stood up. "I guess I will start moving my stuff out this weekend." "Ethan, wait." But I was already walking away. Not because I wanted to hurt her, not because I was angry. Because something in her voice when she said challenge us more told me everything I needed to know. This was not her idea. This was theirs. And if my girlfriend was taking relationship advice from women who thought love was a game you could win or lose, then maybe we really were done. I sat in my car for 20 minutes after she left. Not sad, not angry, just empty. Like someone had deleted 2 years of my life and left me staring at a blank screen. Time to write some new code. Friday morning, my phone exploded with messages. Jessica, Lauren, and Vanessa had all texted me within an hour of each other. Concerned messages, supportive messages, messages that felt coordinated. "Hey, heard about you and Kylie. So sorry." Jessica, "If you need someone to talk to, I am here." Lauren, "Breakups suck. Want to grab coffee?" Vanessa, I ignored them all. Spent the day working on my game instead. A puzzle platformer about a character who discovers the world around him is not real. Seemed appropriate. Saturday afternoon, Lauren showed up at my apartment. She had a casserole and a concerned expression. "I brought food," she said, holding up the dish. "Figured you might not be cooking much." I let her in because turning away homemade food felt wrong. She sat on my couch and watched me eat like I was a patient she was monitoring. "How are you holding up?" she asked. "Fine." "Really?" "Because this came out of nowhere. Kylie seemed so happy with you." I looked at her. Really looked. Lauren was a kindergarten teacher. She spent her days with 5-year-olds who lied about eating glue and blamed imaginary friends for broken crayons. She could spot a lie from across a playground. "Did it come out of nowhere?" I asked. Her face shifted, just slightly. "What do you mean?" "You tell me. You have been friends with her longer than I have known her. I just meant she never said anything to me about being unhappy. But her voice had that careful quality. The same tone Kylie had used at the coffee shop. The tone of someone who knows more than they are saying. Lauren, what is this really about? She stood up quickly. Nothing. I just wanted to check on you. Make sure you were okay. I am okay. Good. That is good. She moved toward the door, then stopped. You know, Ethan, sometimes when people care about each other, they do things that seem cruel but are really about protection. Protection. From what? From me? What are you trying to tell me? But she was already leaving. Take care of yourself, and maybe do not reach out to Kylie for a while. Let her have some space. After she left, I sat with her words. Protection. Space. The careful way she had watched my reactions, like she was gathering information to report back. Sunday morning, I walked to Mass Ave for coffee. Same place Kylie and I had gone Tuesday. The barista asked where my girlfriend was. I told him we broke up. He looked genuinely sad. That sucks, man. You two seemed solid. Yeah, we did. I was walking home when I saw them. Kylie, Jessica, Lauren, and Vanessa at a corner table at another cafe, huddled together like they were planning something. Jessica was talking animatedly, gesturing with her hands. Kylie looked miserable. I ducked into a bookstore across the street and watched through the window. They were there for almost an hour. At one point, Lauren pulled out her phone and showed them something. They all leaned in to look. Jessica nodded approvingly. Vanessa clapped her hands once. Then Kylie shook her head, said something that made Jessica frown. The conversation got heated. Kylie stood up like she was going to leave. Jessica grabbed her arm, pulled her back down. When they finally left, Kylie walked in the opposite direction from the others. Her shoulders were slumped. She looked like someone who had lost an argument she did not want to have. I bought a book I did not need and walked home through different streets. But I could not stop thinking about what I had seen. The planning, the coordination, the way they had handled Kylie like she was a reluctant participant in her own life. What kind of protection required a committee? What kind of space was measured and planned by people who were not in the relationship? And why did Lauren look like she was gathering intelligence when she came to check on me? Monday evening, I was debugging a particularly stubborn piece of code when someone knocked on my door. Through the peephole, I saw Jessica, alone, which was unusual. Jessica traveled in packs. Hey, she said when I opened the door. Can we talk? I let her in. She looked around my apartment like she was cataloging evidence. Noticed the unwashed dishes, the pile of clothes on the chair, the general disorder of a man whose life had been reorganized without his consent. You look terrible, she said. Thanks. Really what I needed to hear. She sat on my couch. Look, I know this is hard, but maybe it is for the best. Is it? Kylie deserves someone who will fight for her. There it was. The script. The same language Kylie had used. The same testing framework Lauren had hinted at. Fight for her how? You just let her walk away. No argument. No passion. What kind of guy does that? I studied Jessica's face. She was enjoying this. The drama, the manipulation, the feeling of pulling strings and watching people dance. The kind who respects her choices, I said, or the kind who does not really care. And you would know because? Because I have known her longer than you have. I know what she needs. I laughed, not because it was funny, because it was ridiculous. You orchestrated this entire thing, did not you? Her expression shifted, became defensive. I do not know what you mean. The loyalty test, the fake breakup. Let me guess. You convinced her that if I really loved her, I would fight to get her back. That if I just accepted the breakup, it proved I never cared. That is not. How long have you been planning this? Weeks? Months? Jessica stood up. You are being paranoid. Am I? Because from where I sit, it looks like you decided my relationship was not dramatic enough for your taste. So you manufactured some drama. Kylie has been having doubts. Doubts you planted. Doubts that were already there. I just helped her see them clearly. By convincing her to fake a breakup to test my loyalty. What were you expecting? For me to show up at her office with flowers? Write her name in the sky? Serenade her in public? Jessica's face was red now, angry that her script was not being followed. Any guy who really loved her would have fought harder. Any friend who really cared about her would not have turned her relationship into a game. We are looking out for her. You are entertaining yourselves. She moved toward the door. You will regret this, Ethan. When she moves on, when she finds someone better. Someone more willing to perform for you. Someone who actually gives a damn. After she left, I sat in my kitchen and thought about the past few months. The increased group hangs, the whispered conversations, the way they had analyzed every interaction between Kylie and me like they were grading a performance. They had convinced her that love was something you could measure, that devotion required a specific set of behaviors, that relationships were pass or fail tests instead of ongoing conversations between imperfect people. And Kylie had bought it, had been willing to lie to me, to manipulate me, to treat our 2 years together like raw material for their entertainment. The betrayal was not just hers, it was theirs. A collective decision to treat my heart like a toy they could break and fix at will. I pulled out my phone and opened my notes app, started typing. Time to give them a test of their own. Tuesday morning, I did what Jessica expected me to do. I called Kylie. Ethan? She sounded surprised, maybe hopeful. I made a mistake, I said, let my voice crack just slightly. I should have fought for us. Silence then. What do you mean? I mean, I gave up too easily. I thought I was respecting your choice, but maybe I was just being a coward. Ethan, can we meet? Please? I need to see you. Another pause. I could practically hear her texting the group chat. Okay. Where? Same place as last time. Military Park. I will be there in an hour. I spent that hour preparing. Not flowers, not poetry, just the right mindset, the right performance. Kylie was waiting by the fountain when I arrived. She looked nervous, excited, like someone who had been told Christmas was coming early. You came, I said, sitting beside her. You said you wanted to talk. I do. I have been thinking about what you said, about us going in different directions. She nodded, encouraging me to continue. And you are right. We do want different things. I want honesty. You want drama. Her face changed. That is not. I want a partner. You want an audience. Ethan, what are you talking about? I turned to face her fully. I am talking about your loyalty test. Your fake breakup. Your friends convincing you that love is a performance you can grade. The color drained from her face. I do not know what you mean. Sure you do. Jessica told me all about it yesterday. How you have been having doubts. How any guy who really loved you would fight harder. How my accepting the breakup proved I did not care. She should not have told me the truth, I agree. Kylie looked around the park like she was searching for an escape route. It was not supposed to be like this. How was it supposed to be? I grovel, I beg, I prove my devotion by making a scene. We just wanted to know. You wanted to know what? That I love you. I showed you that every day for 2 years. That I would fight for you. I fought for us every time Jessica tried to convince you I was not good enough. That is not what happened. Is not it? When did the doubt start, Kylie? Before or after your friend started asking if I had ever been tested? She was crying now. Quiet tears that she wiped away quickly. They said you were too passive, that you never got jealous or possessive, that maybe you did not really care. So you decided to find out by lying to me. It was supposed to be a small thing, a few days. Then I would tell you it was a mistake and we would get back together. And if I had not passed the test? She did not answer. Did not need to. Here is the thing about tests, Kylie. They reveal more about the person giving them than the person taking them. I stood up. I did fight for us. For 2 years. I fought every time your friends tried to plant doubt in your head. I fought every time they made you question what we had. I fought by being consistent, by being honest, by being the same person every day instead of performing whatever version of myself I thought you wanted to see. Where are you going? Home. To pack your things. I will have them ready by Friday. Wait. Ethan, please, we can fix this. No, I said. We cannot. Because this was never broken until you decided to break it. I walked away. Did not look back. Did not give her the reaction she was expecting. The real test was just beginning. Thursday afternoon, my phone rang. Kylie's number. I let it go to voicemail. Then Lauren called. Then Jessica. Then Vanessa. I ignored them all. Friday morning, I texted Kylie, "Your stuff is in boxes on the porch. Keys are in the mailbox." 20 minutes later, she was at my door. Not alone. Jessica and Lauren were with her. Backup for whatever conversation she thought we were going to have. I opened the door before they could knock. "Everything is there," I said. "Clothes, books, that little succulent you bought for the kitchen." "Ethan, please," Kylie said. "Can we just talk?" "We did talk. Tuesday, remember?" Jessica stepped forward. "Look, maybe we all made some mistakes." "No," I said. "You made mistakes. Kylie made mistakes. I trusted people who turned my relationship into entertainment." "That is not what happened," Lauren said. "Is not it? You convinced my girlfriend to fake a breakup to test my loyalty. You turned 2 years of my life into a game you could win or lose." "We were trying to help," Jessica said. "By lying to me, by manipulating me, by treating my feelings like they did not matter." Kylie was crying again. "I am sorry. I know I messed up. But we can fix this." I looked at her. Really looked. 2 years of shared meals and late-night conversations and quiet Sunday mornings. 2 years of building something real. Gone because she let other people convince her it was not enough. "Remember what you said Tuesday?" I asked. "About wanting someone who would challenge you more?" She nodded. "Here is your challenge. Go explain to everyone why you faked a breakup with a guy who loved you. Explain why you let your friends turn your relationship into a social experiment. Explain why you threw away 2 good years because you wanted drama instead of devotion." "Ethan, we are done, Kylie. For real this time. No test, no performance. Just done." I closed the door, heard them talking in hushed voices on my porch, heard car doors slam, heard them drive away. The fallout started Monday morning. Jessica posted a long Facebook rant about toxic masculinity and men who abandon women. Lauren shared it, added her own commentary about emotional unavailability. By Tuesday, people were asking questions. Mutual friends who knew Kylie and me, people who had seen us together and could not understand what had happened. Wednesday, someone leaked screenshots. The group chat where they had planned the whole thing. Jessica's messages about testing his loyalty. Lauren's suggestions for appropriate reactions. Vanessa's updates on my progress after Lauren's visit. Thursday, more screenshots appeared, including Kylie's message, "I do not want to do this anymore. This feels wrong." And Jessica's response, "If you back out now, you will never know if he really loves you." Friday, the internet did what the internet does, turned Jessica into a cautionary tale, made her name synonymous with manipulation and toxic friendship. Her employer, a marketing firm downtown, started getting calls. Her dating profiles were exposed. Her reputation was finished. Lauren tried to defend her, got pulled down with her, lost friends, lost credibility, started getting side-eyed at work. Vanessa went silent, deleted her social media, moved back home to Kentucky. Kylie called me once. I did not answer. She left a voicemail apologizing, begging for another chance, promising she had cut ties with Jessica and the others. I deleted it without listening to the whole thing. 6 weeks later, I released my puzzle platformer game. It won Indie Game of the Year, got written up in gaming magazines, sold better than anything I had ever created. I dedicated it to anyone who has ever been tested by people who should have trusted them instead. Sometimes the best revenge is living well. Sometimes it is letting people destroy themselves with their own toxicity. She tested me, but in the end, she failed the only test that mattered.